Surprising things you didn't know about Albert Einstein. 1. He isn't completely responsible for E equals mc 2, at least not in the way you think he is. The most important part of the equation, the suggestion of an equivalency between mass and energy, had been proposed by a number of scientists including Friedrich Hayes and H.R.L. Henry Poincare and Oliver Heaviside years, even decades before Einstein published his theory in 1905. Even the equation itself, in a slightly different version, had been published more than once before Einstein, who was indeed able to simplify the equation and put it into the form that made it famous, too. He never actually failed math. This is a popular fact often promoted on the internet, perhaps in an attempt to humanize Einstein's genius. However, it is simply not true. Overall, Einstein was an average student, but math was one area where he excelled, unsurprisingly. 3. He did, however, fail his university entrance exam. In 1895, a 16-year-old Einstein took the entrance exam for the Swiss Federal Polytechnic, a science, technology, engineering and mathematics school. While he had exceptional scores in physics and math, his other scores weren't good enough and he failed the exam as a whole. 4. He aided in the development of nuclear weapons, although not quite in the way that some think. His involvement in this matter is often misinterpreted, with some claiming that he helped create the atomic bomb. In reality, what he did was write a letter to President Roosevelt encouraging him to begin work on such a weapon, which led to the creation of the Manhattan Project that was ultimately responsible for the bomb. Although a dedicated pacifist and, later, an anti-nuclear weapons spokesman, Einstein was convinced that America needed the atomic bomb before the Nazis. 5. He was a great musician. If the whole genius thing didn't work out, Einstein could have become a working violinist. His mother played piano, so he had the love of music instilled in him via violin lessons at the young age of 5, 6. He could have been the president of Israel. When Israel's first president, Chaim Weizmann, died, Einstein was offered the position, but he declined. 7. He married his cousin. After Einstein divorced his first wife, Mileva Maric, he married his cousin, Elsa Lowenthal Pictured. He was, actually, quite a bad husband to his first wife in their later years. He had affairs he never tried to hide. He moved the entire family to Berlin without discussion, and treated her more as a servant than a wife. 8. He even had his first wife agree to a written list of demeaning duties and conditions if she wanted to stay with him. The full list given to Mileva Maric Pictured, only uncovered recently, includes items like, "You will not expect any intimacy from me, nor will you reproach me in any way, and you will renounce all personal relations with me insofar as they are not completely necessary for social reasons." 9. He promised his Nobel Prize money to his wife upon their divorce, before he even won the prize. In 1919, when drawing up divorce papers with his first wife, he promised her Nobel Prize money he hadn't yet won, which some see as a tacit admission that she actually helped him create some of his most famous theories. Of course, his confidence proved warranted when he won just 2 years later and indeed gave the money to his wife. 10. He won the 1921 Nobel Prize for Physics, but not for the reason you think. His win alone isn't particularly surprising, but what is surprising is the fact that he didn't receive it for either the general or special theory of relativity, both of which account for much of his renown today, but rather for the photoelectric effect.
Subscribe now.